Take a deep breath. God is here.
Father, as we come before you in this quiet moment, we bring the weight that our hearts have carried in silence, the battles we're too tired to explain, and the questions that echo in the places no one sees. And we ask you to breathe over us a peace that reminds the soul it has never been abandoned. For even when life whispers that we are forgotten, your presence leans close and proves that every tear has been noticed, every fear has been held, every wound has been understood. And in this sacred stillness, we dare to believe that you are fighting for us, even in the shadows where our strength falters. And if someone listening feels like they are standing alone in a storm they never asked for, let them whisper in this moment, right where they are, "Lord, stay close to me." And let that whisper become the beginning of healing as you remind their weary spirit that your love has never stepped away, never grown distant, never surrendered its grip. For you have been here all along, guarding the heart that thought it was fighting by itself. Lord, as we move deeper into this moment with you, we bring the battles that were never spoken out loud, the silent wars fought behind tired eyes, the disappointments we tried to hide from others but could never hide from your gaze. And we ask you to touch the places inside us that have forgotten what hope feels like. For sometimes the soul grows quiet, not because it has peace, but because it has run out of strength to keep crying. And yet you, in your mercy, bend down to lift what we can no longer carry, reminding us that we are not forgotten even when our prayers feel unanswered, even when the night stretches longer than our courage. And if someone listening feels too weary to stand on their own, let them softly breathe, "Jesus, hold me," and let that whisper rise to your heart as you fight the battles they cannot see, pushing back the darkness, restoring the breath that fear tried to steal, and proving once again that your nearness is the shelter we have longed for. Father, in this sacred unfolding, we recognize how many times we have walked through days that felt too heavy, moments where the soul trembled beneath burdens no one else understood. And yet even in those hours when we thought our cries dissolved into empty space, you were there, gathering every fragment of our strength, holding every unspoken sorrow, shaping purpose out of pain in ways we could not see. For you are the God who fights for us long before we know a battle exists. And tonight we surrender the exhaustion that keeps telling us we won't make it, asking you to breathe new courage into the places that feel fragile. And if someone listening is whispering inside themselves that they can't take another step, gently draw them to say, "Lord, give me strength," so that this small and trembling plea may rise like incense before you, awakening hope, steadying the heart, and reminding them that even now, in this very breath, they are held, defended, and deeply remembered by the one who never forsakes his own. Father, in this sacred unfolding, we recognize how many times we have walked through days that felt too heavy, moments where the soul trembled beneath burdens no one else understood. And yet, even in those hours when we thought our cries dissolved into empty space, you were there, gathering every fragment of our strength, holding every unspoken sorrow, shaping purpose out of pain in ways we could not see. For you are the God who fights for us long before we know a battle exists. And tonight we surrender the exhaustion that keeps telling us we won't make it, asking you to breathe new courage into the places that feel fragile. And if someone listening is whispering inside themselves that they can't take another step, gently draw them to say, "Lord, give me strength," so that this small and trembling plea may rise like incense before you, awakening hope, steadying the heart, and reminding them that even now, in this very breath, they are held, defended, and deeply remembered by the one who never forsakes his own. Father, we come to you with the pieces of ourselves we rarely show, the quiet doubts that sit beneath the surface, the fears we try to silence but that keep rising when the world grows still. And we ask you to touch the deep places where discouragement has settled like dust over the soul. For sometimes we forget that your love does not fade when our strength does. and that you are fighting for us even when all we can do is breathe and try again. And if someone listening feels ashamed of their weakness or burdened by the feeling that they should be stronger than they are, invite their heart gently to murmur, "Lord, stay with me," so that this tender confession becomes the doorway through which your comfort enters, wrapping around their spirit like a shield, lifting the heaviness they carried alone, and reminding them that being held by you is not a privilege for the perfect, but a promise for the broken, the tired, and the ones who fear they are slipping beneath the weight of unseen battles. Lord, in this unfolding moment of sacred honesty, we bring before you the long nights when sleep wouldn't come, the mornings when rising felt like a quiet defeat, and the heavy hours where we questioned our worth, our purpose, and our place in this world. And yet even in those unseen valleys, you have walked beside us, whispering strength into the silence, fighting battles we could not fight, and holding our trembling hearts with a love that does not grow weary. And if someone listening feels lost inside themselves, unsure of how to keep moving forward, draw them gently to breathe. Jesus, guide me, so that this vulnerable request becomes the turning point where your light enters their shadows, reminding them that every step they feared to take is already covered by your protection. Every tear they shed is already known by your compassion, and every fear they carry is already being met by your presence that refuses to let them walk alone. Father, as your presence settles over us like calm over troubled waters, we acknowledge how many battles we fought, pretending to be strong, how many storms we weathered with a smile while our hearts whispered for help, and how often we believed the lie that our struggles made us weak or unworthy. Yet you, in your tenderness, remind us that every wounded place is an entry point for your mercy. Every tear is a prayer you have already heard, and every fear is an opportunity for your strength to rise within us. And if someone listening feels like they're holding themselves together by a fragile thread, let their spirit find the courage to say, "Lord, lift me," so that this quiet surrender becomes a declaration that they are not abandoned, not overlooked, not forgotten. For you are fighting for them in ways they cannot see, surrounding them with a love that steadies trembling hands and restores the breath they thought they had lost. Lord, we come to this moment aware of how deeply we long for reassurance, how often we search for signs that we are still seen, still valued, still held by a love greater than our fears. And you meet us here with a gentleness that disarms every anxious thought, reminding us that the battles we face are not ours alone. For you step into the very center of our struggle and fight on our behalf, even when we feel unworthy, even when we feel forgotten, even when hope flickers like a fragile flame. And if someone listening is carrying the quiet ache of feeling unnoticed by heaven, draw their heart to whisper, "Jesus, remember me," so that this simple, trembling plea becomes a doorway for your comfort to pour in, wrapping their spirit in the truth that you have never looked away, never stepped back, never stopped defending the heart that feels too exhausted to keep believing. For your love is relentless, and your eyes are always upon your children. Father, as we rest in this sacred stillness, we recognize how the soul can grow weary from carrying battles that were never meant to be fought alone, and how the weight of unanswered prayers can make even the strongest heart question its worth. Yet you remind us that delay is not abandonment, and silence is not distance, for you are working in realms we cannot see, fighting for us in ways we may never fully understand, shaping victory out of moments that feel like defeat. And if someone listening feels like they're standing on the edge of giving up, softly incline their spirit to murmur, "Lord, hold my heart," so that this tender plea becomes a bridge back to hope, anchoring them in the truth that they are not forgotten in the shadows, not overlooked in the noise of life, but carried by a God who defends them with unfailing strength and surrounds them with the love that refuses to let them fall. Lord, as your presence gently meets us here, we bring the hidden exhaustion that lives beneath our words, the quiet battles behind our smiles, and the weight of expectations we can no longer carry on our own. trusting that you see beyond appearances and understand the depths we struggle to express. For you are the God who leans into our pain, gathering every shattered thought and every trembling hope, refusing to let us fight our battles in isolation. And if someone listening feels like life has pushed them into a corner, with no strength left to rise, softly invite their heart to whisper, "Jesus, rescue me," so that this fragile breath becomes the beginning of renewed courage, a reminder that your love is not distant but fiercely present, fighting for them even in the moments when they cannot fight for themselves, and surrounding them with the assurance that they are seen, valued, and never forgotten in the vastness of this world. Father, as we linger in this holy atmosphere, we recognize how many wounds we've carried long after the moments that caused them have passed. How often we've tried to convince ourselves that we were fine while our souls quietly bled beneath the surface, and yet you come with a tenderness that meets us exactly where we are, not where we pretend to be, reminding us that every scar is known, every ache is seen, and every battle has stirred your heart to fight on our behalf. And if someone listening feels like they've been forgotten in their healing, left alone in the slow process of rebuilding what life has broken, let their spirit gently breathe, "Lord, heal me," so that this honest whisper becomes the doorway through which your compassion enters, restoring what pain tried to take, lifting the heaviness they've carried for too long, and assuring them that they are never unseen, never abandoned, and never without the covering of your unfailing love. Father, as we linger in this holy atmosphere, we recognize how many wounds we've carried long after the moments that caused them have passed. How often we've tried to convince ourselves that we were fine while our souls quietly bled beneath the surface, and yet you come with a tenderness that meets us exactly where we are, not where we pretend to be, reminding us that every scar is known, every ache is seen, and every battle has stirred your heart to fight on our behalf. And if someone listening feels like they've been forgotten in their healing, left alone in the slow process of rebuilding what life has broken, let their spirit gently breathe, "Lord, heal me," so that this honest whisper becomes the doorway through which your compassion enters, restoring what pain tried to take, lifting the heaviness they've carried for too long, and assuring them that they are never unseen, never abandoned, and never without the covering of your unfailing love. Lord, as this moment deepens, we bring to you the fights that have worn down our spirit, the disappointments that linger like shadows in the corners of the heart, and the quiet fear that perhaps our prayers have become too small, too broken, or too delayed to matter. Yet you remind us that even the faintest cry reaches you with clarity. For you are the God who bends low to listen, the one who gathers every trembling word and answers with a love that never grows tired. And if someone listening feels as though heaven has been silent toward their pain, stir within them the courage to whisper, "Jesus, don't leave me," so this vulnerable plea becomes the moment they feel your arms lifting them again, restoring their hope, reminding them that delays are not denials, and proving that even now, even here, you are fighting for them with a strength that will not allow their story to end in the shadows they fear. Father, as we continue resting in the depth of your presence, we acknowledge how many times we have walked through valleys we didn't choose, carrying battles that seemed far too heavy for our own hands, and yet even in those hidden places of struggle, you have been the shield around us, the strength beneath us, the whisper of hope that would not let our hearts collapse. For you never forget the ones you love, and you never allow the darkness to claim what belongs to you. And if someone listening feels overwhelmed by a fight that has lasted longer than their courage, gently draw their heart to say, "Lord, fight for me," so that this raw and honest plea becomes the turning point where your power steps in, lifting what they cannot lift, defending what they cannot defend, and reminding them that you are not a distant observer, but a faithful Father who stands between them and every force that seeks to break their spirit. Lord, in this sacred unfolding, we bring before you the moments when life felt like a battlefield on every side, when the weight of responsibilities, fears, and unanswered cries pressed so deeply that the heart wondered if it would ever breathe freely again. And yet you stand with us, not as a silent witness, but as a mighty defender whose love refuses to let the darkness win. And you remind us that even when we cannot see the path forward, your hands are already clearing the way, fighting for us with a strength beyond our understanding. And if someone listening feels surrounded by pressures that steal their peace, quietly stir their heart to whisper, "Jesus, cover me," so that this fragile plea becomes the doorway for your presence to shield them, calm them, and surround them with the assurance that they are not forgotten in the chaos, but fiercely protected by the one who calls them beloved. Father, as we continue to rest beneath the weight of your compassion, we acknowledge the seasons when courage felt distant, when hope seemed like a fading echo, and when every step forward felt like lifting a mountain with trembling hands. Yet you remind us that you have never expected us to carry our battles alone. For you are the one who steps into our struggle, who surrounds our weakness with strength, who turns our breaking moments into places where your grace breathes life again. And if someone listening feels like they are standing on the edge of their own limits, unsure of how to keep going, invite their spirit gently to say, "Lord, help me keep going." So this whispered request becomes the beginning of renewed endurance, a reminder that they are upheld by a love that does not fail, and protected by a God who fights fiercely for the hearts that feel like they are slipping beneath the weight of the unseen. Lord, as your presence settles deeper into every weary place within us, we bring the memories that still ache, the moments that left silent bruises on our spirit, and the fears that whisper we are too small for the battles ahead. Yet you remind us that size has never determined victory. Presence has. And your presence is our shield, our anchor, our unfailing defender, fighting for us in ways we cannot see, and strengthening us in ways we cannot measure. And if someone listening feels like life has pushed them beyond what their heart can endure, gently draw their soul to breathe. "Jesus, stand with me," so that this tender confession becomes a doorway for your courage to rise within them, lifting the weight they thought would break them, restoring the breath they feared they had lost, and proving once again that they are not forgotten in the struggle, but fiercely loved by the one who never leaves his children in the valley alone. Father, as we lean into this deep and holy stillness, we bring everything that has worn us thin, the unanswered questions, the lingering disappointments, the hopes that feel too fragile to hold, and we lay them before you, trusting that nothing we carry is invisible to the God who counts every tear and strengthens every trembling heart. For you remind us that even when the battle feels endless, your faithfulness is the shield that never breaks, the fortress that never falls, and the love that never forgets the ones who are fighting to survive another day. And if someone listening feels like their spirit is fading beneath pressures they cannot name, invite them gently to whisper, "Lord, don't let me give up." So this quiet plea becomes the spark that reignites hope, drawing your strength into their weakness and assuring them that the fight is not theirs alone, but yours, and you will not abandon them in the very place where you are preparing their victory. Lord, as we reach this sacred final breath of prayer, we gather every battle, every fear, every quiet ache that has been carried in silence, and we place them fully into your hands, trusting that the God who has walked with us through the shadows is the same God who is fighting for us even now, shaping strength from weakness, building purpose from pain, and writing hope into the very places where we once felt forgotten. For your love is steady, unshakable, and fiercely protective of every heart that leans on you. And if someone listening feels the weight of their life pressing hard against their spirit, gently draw them to whisper, "Jesus, stay with me," so that this tender surrender becomes the doorway to your peace, your comfort, and your covering, wrapping them in the truth that they are not invisible, not alone, and never without the strength of the one who guards their every step. And now, Lord, let your final blessing rest upon them. May your presence be their shelter, your voice their guide, and your love their constant assurance that even in the hardest days, they are held, remembered, and forever fought for by the God who never lets them go.
Breathe for a moment. God is here. He wants to hear you. If this touched your heart, subscribe for more.